How you doing? I'm Daniel Logan. I played Boba Fett in Star Wars Attack of the Clones and also the Clone Wars. And I love Cubs fan Han. You're the best gamer out there. I truly think you're awesome. And you know what? You and that slicer are pretty badass. So, for anyone that wants to compete or even come near you with the HRZ004 slicer, watch out. Well, Cubs fan Han, keep doing your thing. Much love and support, and appreciate you for everything you do for the community of gamers. Peace.
What is going on, my friends? Cubs fan Han here, and we are going to talk all things Falcon. In this video, I do want to talk a little bit about what I think might be the best fleet. All of the footage that you are seeing in this video is my own personal arena team, fleet arena team over the last couple days. And I'm showing you the wins and the losses. I'm going to keep it real here, my friends, because I've had a little bit of a struggle, and I'll talk about why that is. The problem's not the Falcon. The problem is me. Give you a little bit of a inside look at that, what's to come. Before I get started, I do want to give a quick shout out to my boy Pimpo, the mod father. This guy went into my account on Galaxy of Heroes and remodded everything. He's done this for well over 200 accounts now, including CG Carry herself, and the guy knows mods like I've never seen before. So if you want information on that, check the link below. Great stuff, my friends. All right, so looking at this footage, I will talk about some of my decisions here and kind of where I've gone wrong, but setting up this fleet, what I'm seeing as the best fleet personally so far is a front three of Biston. Yes, Biston ship with the Falcon and Biggs. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going to be sad to hear that I'm not including Houndstooth in that. I am devastated. I really thought Houndstooth would be fine. The devs showed some footage of Houndstooth, but I am just not having much success with Houndstooth right now. I am trying him out as a reinforcement, which this is, again, it makes me sad to see him not in my front three because I literally just got him to 7 stars like last week. Come on, Capital Games. But that said, what I don't like about Houndstooth is not a rebel ship, and you just benefit so much from those rebels. It's like trying to put a non-Jedi in a Jedi Revan team. You know, I know I experimented with Chewbacca in a Revan team, and I liked having him in there, but ultimately having even just one character that doesn't have the synergy with the rest of the group can affect you. Now, that's not to say there's still going to be no place for Houndstooth. I'm still putting him in as a reinforcement for the most part, kind of as a backup, but I find myself not really wanting to bring him in because I just want those extra assists from all of my rebel ships. Now, my biggest struggle right now with these ships is a lot of them are under-geared. If you look at my Biston ship, for example, my Biston and my Scarif Rebel Pathfinder are both gear 8. Now, if this is news to you, let me bring you some harsh reality. The gear on your characters matters when it comes to the ship. And this is what kind of sucks about the meta for ship shifting is all of a sudden, you know, maybe you just finally got your bugs geared up, you finally got your Bosk ready, your Houndstooth ready, it's shifting, and it's not just as easy as putting the Falcon in there. It's also going to be important for you to go in and gear up all of those rebel characters that you don't have geared up. Now, you might have a lot of them geared up, but me personally, my Akbar is only gear 11. I've still got one piece to get him to gear 12. I'm doing everything I can to get there. I got to get him to gear 12, and I got to work on getting my Biston and Scarif Rebel Pathfinder up to at least gear 11. Those are my personal goals. And all of those gear levels impact the survivability of your ship, how hard your ship hits, etc. So make sure that you go in and level up and gear up those characters as you can, starting with your capital ship. I think the capital ship's probably going to be the most important. Now, beyond that, it's not just about the gear, it's also about the mods. Make sure you have a minimum 5 mods on all these characters. This is why it's not necessarily a bad thing, by the way, to save mods that don't have much value, but are high quality mods in the game. So if you got like a 5 yellow mod that is, defense primary, or well, defense primary has use, but you know, just no speed secondary, no offense on it. You know, just get rid of this mod. Save it for your fleet, because you're gonna have a few characters on your fleet you don't use anywhere, like, oh, I don't know, Biston. I'm not using Biston anywhere, but now I need to have good mods on Biston. And so I've gone through, I've favorited all my rebels, and I'm working on getting them as many yellow mods as possible, and for the gear 12 characters, as many gold mods as I can muster. Obviously, when it comes to mods, your arena team, your territory wars defenses, your grand arena teams, etc., are probably going to come first. But for ships, you really can't neglect them, and so I do recommend you split the farming between the two so that you have mods that are boosting the stats of your ship. So right now, my biggest problem with this team is my Biston, as you see in many of these battles, very, very squishy. I did go in and I gave them as many yellow mods as I could. I leveled them up as much as I could, and I'm working on gearing them up. And so right now, I have to work around Biston being a bit squishy. When he survives, when Biston survives, I am able to win the battle. And something that I started realizing, I led off almost every single battle with the Falcon's Watch This, which is the ability where it shifts side to side, you gain the health and protection, you dispel the buffs, and you're going to do a reverse taunt where nobody's allowed to hit you, even if everyone else is stealthing, you still can't target the Falcon. And so the problem I'm running into leading off with that ability is, with my Biston being so squishy, I am immediately saying there is a 50% chance that Biston dies. I would rather have a 33% chance. And the reason for that is it takes only 2 or 3 hits before my Biston is gone. Now, I know it is ideal for me to gear up those characters so that Biston can take more of a beating. For now, that's just not happening for me. And so to accommodate it, what I am doing instead is I'm using the Falcon's basic ability, and then I'm saving Watch This for the next turn. That has actually let me win more battles. So I'm so far pretty happy with that. If you are having the same struggle with some undergeared rebels, I do recommend giving that a try, at least out the gate. And then, I mean, really, you don't really lose a whole lot. I mean, the Falcon gets, turn meter off of that, and so maybe you lose a turn. But ultimately, I haven't noticed the Falcon being less effective, leading off with the basic in this case, just because it's helping me keep that ship alive. And then I, actually have some health and protection to recover by the time I do use it. Some other attack strategy notes, and again, I'm still figuring this out. A lot of these rebel ships, I'm still learning how to use. I am bringing in Phantom as my first reinforcement. It's good to get as many ships in there as possible, especially because a lot of these rebels are going to be squishy. For those of you who don't have them as geared up as the Krakens of the world would have. But also, it's nice to have that ability to have that instant target lock. You want to make sure you always have target lock out there as much as possible. The Falcon, Biggs, and Biston all have target locking abilities, which is a big reason why I'm leading off with them. I honestly would probably lead off with Phantom instead, because my Ezra and Sabine are geared up pretty well. But I really like his reinforcement ability, which is kind of why I have Biston there, which is good for the target lock. It's tempting when you bring in Phantom to lead off with the big attack. Sometimes this is good, if you can take somebody out, you've got that assist chance, it's great, it's, good ability to take somebody out. But if you don't have a target lock up there, and if it doesn't look like you're going to be able to take someone out, sometimes it's better to use the first special ability and instead get a target lock out there. So just be cognizant of that, because those target locks are very important to these rebel teams. And then I'm sure there are other attack strategy nuances that I still have yet to figure out. In these videos, my attack strategy is kind of all over the place, you'll see, because I'm trying several different things, because there are a few fleets that were just giving me issues, and I attribute most of this just to undergeared rebels. I'm sure a lot of that will be mitigated. I mean, for people who have them a bit more geared up, I'm hearing a lot of people are able to just auto. That's not the case for me. I would be able to auto some teams, but the harder teams in my shard, I want to be able to beat everyone. Those teams take a lot of thinking through the attack strategy to figure out, and a lot of trial and error, which is why I'm showing you several losses here. And so that's kind of just the way it is. What have you guys been learning about the Falcon? Let me know down in the comments below for sure. I am still figuring this out, and so I would love to hear what revelations you guys have had, and also let me know what your thoughts are about the ship. Are you going to get it? I definitely think it's worth at least getting at 5 stars. One of my favorite parts about this ship is I legitimately feel like this ship is 100% viable at 5 stars. I feel like it's absolutely tanky enough, it's survival enough, it's hitting hard enough. Probably ideal to have at 7 stars, but I don't feel like I'm missing the boat not having the Falcon at 7 stars at all. And so if that's you, congratulations. I think you should be able to get as much use out of the Falcon as possible. And I don't think it's that out of the picture for many of you to get to those ships to 5 stars if you've just been farming them a little bit. And so if you can make that push, I absolutely recommend doing it. Now, for those of you who aren't able to, I am working on a video talking through counters to the Falcon that don't use the Falcon. I'm compiling some footage from members of my Discord server that are doing it. I might do some testing myself over on the test accounts, but I want to try to find as much organic footage for you guys as possible on that particular subject. So once again, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. More of this to come, and next week, my friends, we are going to get to the first ever Galaxy of Heroes World Cup. Stay tuned for that. I have already ran groups A and B, and I am going to run groups C and D tomorrow, and then upload videos early in the week for both of those, and then stay tuned for information on the finale, which I think is going to be super exciting. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check the link above my head for information. Thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends, and as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body. Sorry about the mess.